How do you prepare for hyper growth? This is literally the question I had yesterday from one of our clients. And so this is a great question, certainly for organizations that are growing fast across different states, provinces, countries, but also for all sizes of organization. Okay, there are three things that have to get lined up. You got to get your ducks in a row, and you got to really make things very clean inside before you're actually going to be doing things outside. So there's three things. Number one, and this is a lot of content I'm sure a lot of us know, but let's just do a quick little review. Number one of the things that certainly that we do is we will work with the senior leadership team and really clarify what are their goals, their OKRs, their KPIs, whatever your metrics is, like getting extremely clear on their objectives and their key results. This is step one. This piece is absolutely shocking to me on how many organizations do not have clarity on this. We work with clients that are 5 million. We have clients that are 250 million. We have some clients that are like $1 billion. Okay, so we've got a range of clients that we're actually working with, and it is shocking to me on how many organizations do not have razor clear goals, OKRs, KPIs at the top level. And so that is kind of like number one. Okay, so that is really important. Senior leadership team needs to kind of get clarity on that. Okay, so step one. Step two is getting real clarity on your organizational chart / accountability. I actually like to, when I'm doing executive coaching with teams, I really like them to focus more on accountability chart. I find that's actually really important in terms of who reports to who's going to be doing what, who's responsible for what. And so really getting clarity on your accountability chart. So that is going to be your second step. Once you have those two things, and generally speaking, when we do executive coaching, that's what we're doing. We're helping teams clarify their OKRs as well as their accountability. Once we have that clear, then comes to the third category, which is your communication and cascading that to the rest of your organization. But if you don't have one and two, well organized, very clear, step three, you're not going to be able to do step three, and you will not be able to grow quickly. So it is really important for senior leadership teams to get clarity on one and two. Then we're ready for step three. Step three in terms of that communication piece, making sure that as a senior leaders, you are actually communicating exactly with what your one and two are, being very clear in terms of your goals, your objective key results, clarifying in terms of the accountability, assigning certain team leads if you actually need so, depending on the size of your organization, so that everybody knows what is going on. What is going on? What are we focused on? And so you kind of like communicate that, and you can do that at a very flat level. I personally really like the model where, and we have some organizations that are like 50,000 employees. And so every organization obviously has got to do a little bit differently, but for that kind of communication piece, I really like that model where whether it's once a week, once every 2 weeks, a senior leader actually does some kind of a video, a live call with the rest of the organization, clarifying these are our OKRs, here's with where we're at, here are the targets, and kind of giving that communication feedback loop so everybody knows what is happening. And once you have that communication loop, then the various teams can take that information and actually start doing their tactical action steps. So those are the three things. So getting clarity on your OKRs, your accountability chart, and then your communication across and cascading across the entire organization. Without that piece, what's going to happen if you don't have that? Then there's not going to be alignment. People won't really know what's going on. They don't know what are their priorities. What are we doing? Are we doing what we are doing? And does it actually making any difference? When we're talking about engagement, we're talking about retention. We want to prepare and have an amazing foundation for hyper growth. These three steps are absolutely critical. All right, so you want to kind of like dive in, and they seem so simple and so foundational, and yet it has been shocking with us as we are working with different sizes of organization, how much those foundational pieces are not in place. So again, if you are really thinking about your organization's doing well, you're getting ready for hyper growth, really take a look at those three steps. What are you doing in terms of your OKRs? Is it very, very clear What are you doing in terms of your accountability chart? Is it very clear? Do you need to kind of like change the rules and the way that the accountability is kind of figured out? And then also, what is going to be your communication across the entire organization so that everybody knows what is going on? And once you have those three pieces as your foundation, now you're ready to kind of start cranking up the speed for your hyper growth.